In our final story tonight, two schoolboys who are rediscovering their cultural heritage. The African nation of Somalia has a rich tradition of poetry. And in Bristol, Kirsty Hemming has been finding out how the Somali community there are reviving that passion.
My family back in Somalia, especially in the countryside, they're really into poetry. My uncle, my grandfather, most of my family are into it, and they come every night. Sometimes when they're having dinner or something, just have a little clash of poetry. Yeah, so it really runs in the family.
I got told my family were really into poetry as well. And actually poetry is like a passion. And I do quite a lot in my head, sometimes write it down. It's in everywhere for me.
Mahad and Mubarak are students at Bristol City Academy. Together with their classmates, the boys are taking on a big challenge. They want to perform a piece of poetry at a competition in Bristol, but to succeed, they'll have to overcome their nerves and write a winning poem.
It's about them dispelling the myth of what it's like to be a teenager. And it's giving them the opportunity to express themselves and say, this is us, these are our dreams, these are our aspirations. So it's about giving them a voice. It's like, we are a team, we are a team, we are a team. Go.
Today I'm black, tomorrow I'm white.
Today I'm here, tomorrow I'm white.
Is it our faces or is it our races?
You may not be right, but I know it's start a fight.
Sometimes we're frustrated or when I need to, I just get a pen and paper and just do my poetry.
And the Poetry Project has added significance for Bristol students with an East African heritage. Somalia is known as the nation of poets.
We are people who find spoken poetry very important. It's essential to our society. A young girl might sing songs about the goat and the sheep that she's tending for. I'm sleeping, and I see the hopeless not breathing. I'm screaming, give the hopeless a helping hand.
Abdi Bahdon is a published poet and actor who has found success in London. He was forced out of Somalia 10 years ago during the Civil War.
When I came here, society here is developed. It was I saw it it was 100 years ahead of me, where I came from, because I came from the village. When I started learning how to read and how to write, I expressed myself in poetry by writing in English.
On the forefront of many Somali poets' minds is the Civil War, which has been raging in the Horn of Africa since the early 90s. When soldiers in the Somaliland region stopped fighting, they wrote poems to mark the occasion.
They're reciting poetry now. Not so long ago, these former fighters raised their voices in anger. They've handed in their guns for the chance to learn peacetime skills.
So it's shared by word of mouth, people just performing something live. It's shared, it's recorded. Cassettes became very important, for example, in the 1970s, and still cassettes are important, although increasingly now MP3s and DVDs and CDs are made, and also now the internet.
This poem uses the ba, where this is starting with B. Notice this. Audu billahi baloi bayt. Bismillahi yasin.
This is one of Somalia's most famous poets, Garia, and one of the most influential young Somali artists today is singer Kainan.
But you know what? It is better to light a candle than to curse the dark. In the eyes of the youth, there are question marks like freedom. Freedom for the mind and soul, we don't see them.
His grandfather was also a nationally renowned poet. Now the students from Bristol City Academy are set to perform their own work at the Inter-School Poetry Slam competition at the Museum of Bristol. It's a nerve-wracking experience as they rehearse over and over again. But Mahad is making the most of it.
Able to test my skills in poetry, and it's also a boost in my confidence and great experience.
I see poetry as a therapy, and young people, especially living in the 21st century, they got so many things to say, and poetry is a way they can release those emotions and feelings on a pen and paper and express their feelings. And after that, hopefully, they'll feel a bit of a relief. We need to understand that I'm slipping, I'm losing. I see too many kids dying because they're starving. We all share this name, and we all share this pain. Poverty is the name.
Abdi was intrigued by the young poet's work in Bristol, so decided to pay them a visit.
So you guys now tell me what poetry means to you.
You can tell what's happened in your life and different things that's happened about you.
Life and what I experienced in it, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happens to me every day. Yeah.
It's like telling a story. It's like, you know, sometimes when I say, when I woke up this morning, it was raining, it was sad autumn day, the leaves are falling, they were falling slowly in the rain, like a rain of another kind, heavier but slower. It's like, I'm just describing I'm just describing nature.
Poetry, traditionally in Somalia, has used imagery from the countryside. For poets who are in the UK now, some poets continue in that tradition and they use a lot of the imagery that's used comes from that background. However, the particularly younger people in the UK and in the Somalia diaspora generally, they know about their own poetic heritage, although they don't always understand the poems in Somali. But then they can, respond to the image of the bus and a bicycle and these sorts of things.
I can hear a roaring speedboat coming from the north.
Abdi has also come to visit Easton Primary School in Bristol. The children enjoy weekly poetry and music classes run by St George's Concert Hall. Abdi has set them a poetry writing task.
Basically, 4 lines.
Yeah.
It can be about anything.
You do a rap about it?
Yeah.
I'm the best rapper.
Oh, you're the best rapper?
I see everybody come. Everybody see go to the WWE.
Peace and love, there you go. Peace and love.
Their minds are exposed to such a variety of things that they're, if you like, they're highly absorbent. You know, you throw something at them and they get it straight away. The sky is the limit for them. And that's what makes me really optimistic.
And the class says a big thank you to Abdi by performing one of the songs they've written. Meanwhile, the stage is set and the judges are waiting at the Museum of Bristol, where the City Academy students will show off their hard work, but they've got competition.
So this is it. After weeks of practice, 15 teams will perform their poetry in front of their peers and a panel of judges, all for the glory of being crowned champion slammers.
You're all here, there's 5 schools, there are 15 teams, there will be only one winner. One winning school, one winning team.
It's a nerve-wracking wait, but soon it's time for Mahad and Mubarak to get up and perform their poem.
Right, okay, so next up then we have the City Academy, Little and Large.
This poem's called Black and White. Today I'm black, tomorrow I'm white.
Today I'm hating, tomorrow I'm like, why am I hating?
Is it our face or is it our races?
It may not be right, but that's not a reason
to start a fight. Today I'm black, tomorrow I'm white.
Today I'm hating, tomorrow I'm like.
Same colour blood in our veins.
That's maybe why we all feel the same pain.
Today I'm black, tomorrow I'm white.
Mahad and Mubarak get a fantastic reaction from the audience. The eventual winners are a team from Orchard School, but the competition has encouraged the boys to keep writing.
I travelled the 7 seas in sorrow and rot. You can't tell me who I am or what I can. Yeah, it was like great experience for me to test my poetry and like just boost my confidence, doing more poetry. Yeah.
Well, that's about it for this week, but in next week's programme, we're looking at whether council cutbacks could lead to more potholes on our roads. Plus, a